For both our agency and our coaching program, we've used one simple organic method for a long time, and we generate 7+ figures a year just from our Facebook profiles, a content system, and knowing what to say inside of Messenger to transition to that next phase. We've also sold a lot of AI and GHL SaaS using this exact same methodology. I just did a quick refresher training for our people inside of the Diamond Club last week, and I wanted to bring it here to you guys on YouTube as well. So this is the exact strategy that we use organically on our Facebook profiles to generate 7+ figures a year, no ads, no anything else. And honestly, this is still to this day one of the absolute best client acquisition strategies you could possibly use. I go over the content that you should be using, I go over how to build your audience from scratch, and I go over in-depth different messenger stuff that you can use for opening a conversation, getting permission to transition over there, and then eventually booking that call and making the sale. So without further ado, let's dive into the training and get shit done. If you like client acquisition strategies just like this and all things AI and all things SMMA, make sure you hit the follow button because we do this every single week. I'll see you in there. All right, guys, what's going on? Today, we're going to be going over something that's going to take a little bit of time, so I want to jump right into it. Okay, this is the organic marketing strategy known as the perfect stranger method. If you don't know what that is, it means me and Rahul haven't talked enough about it over the last couple of years, and we need to do our jobs better because it is one of the core concepts, core strategies that we teach inside of all of the GSD programs for people to be able to get out there and go make money without needing necessarily to spend a lot of money, right? We have two resources in life. Those two resources are time and money. And a lot of times we need to validate things with our time before we can scale it with our money. Okay, so that's what a lot of this is. How can I go book calls? How can I go build an audience? How can I go create value and push my business forward by leveraging one of those resources, which is called time? Now, there's a few key concepts here that I want you guys to understand. Number one is earning your way to hot conversations, and I'm going to go over that in a sec. Number two is this takes time. You have to build momentum with this. This is not something you're going to go do tomorrow, and it's just going to work, okay? And number three is, as with everything else we talk about, it revolves around having a niche and a scary offer that actually works. I'm going to start this, guys, by quickly going over this part of the deck. Okay, I'm just going to show you guys this really quickly, and you're going to be going through this a little quick, so don't get whiplash on it, but let's just go through what the perfect stranger method is, right? There's three core pieces to this, okay? Your scary offer, your content, and your profile funnel. Okay, so to make all of this is the perfect stranger engine. Basically, it's what am I offering people? What am I saying to attract them and give them value? And what actual mechanism do I have to convert those people in? Okay, so what the profile funnel needs to do is explain clearly what you do. Okay, include the end benefit here. Offer a CTA with value. Be designed to both look good and consistent so you stand out. Everything should direct people to your CTA, whatever it is that you want to be doing. When you have that, every time you add a new targeted friend, they get to see what you do. Every time you say something good and give value out there in somebody else's group or in the feed or something like that, and they click on your name and they go check out who you are, they get to see it, right? We want to be building our list. We want to be filling all of our buckets. The objective here is to warm up these people, again, earning our way to hot conversations so that they're either ready to buy from you or listen more to what you have to say. Right? You want to be optimizing this stuff to make it actually work. Okay, so if I go over to mine, let me mute some people out here. There we go. If I go over to mine right now, what are you seeing? Like if you land on me right now, right, you're going to see a bunch of stuff. Right away, you're going to see how to build a 7-figure agency or coaching business. Okay, cool. If I want to do this, oh, look, there's a CTA. I can literally click here, join, and take the next step in the organic funnel. I can go to the group and see what we're all about. I can join a group of 10,000 plus agencies, etc. If I scroll down a little bit, you see, oh, there's free weekly trainings right here. I can go here and actually get value out of this. I can see all these different videos and stuff that's teaching me how to do stuff. Very cool, right? Or I can scroll down one more thing and I can see a voice AI system that sells itself, right? So already I've optimized this to move people to different parts of my know, like, trust funnel. I've given them an offer here. If you scroll down even further, I've given them an offer here. If you scroll down even further, I've given them value content. I've got testimonials, right? Scroll down even further. And you can see another 2-step somewhere in here where we're making another offer, right? And getting more people here, right? To get this stuff going. So you can see kind of how this is working. How is it a funnel? It's because they're going to get here from the content that you're posting, from the value that you're giving, from the people that you're adding as friends. And they're going to see, oh, he helps agencies scale to 7 figures. He's got a group of over 10,000 people. He's got a YouTube channel. Oh, look at how valuable all that stuff looks like. Oh, he's got an offer right here specifically for me. Cool, right? I am immediately moving people along in that funnel. Now, if I've got an engine, what do I got to do to make that engine work, right? I got to put some fuel in it. And this is where we're earning our way to hot conversations. Okay, so what I want to start here with is, Rahul, can you let people in? I see a bunch of people getting stacked up. Is the concept of what I said a minute ago, which is earning our way to hot conversations. So first, let's define what that means, right? Obviously, everybody wants to never have to talk to a stranger ever. Right? Who here, raise your hand or put a 1 in the chat if your perfect scenario is everybody DMs me for my business, and then it's an easy conversation the whole way, right? That's great. That's what we all want. Those are what we call hot conversations. Okay. Now, what is a hot, warm, and cold conversation? A hot conversation is exactly what I just said. People who are actively DMing you for your services, or people who are actively engaging in your content. People who have not only know who you are, they've seen some of your stuff, but they're actually engaging with that content. They're leaving comments on your 2-step posts. They're leaving DMs on all this stuff. They are hot. What's a warm conversation? A warm conversation is somebody who's actually actively accepted your friend request. It's somebody who you've added them, they've accepted it, so they kind of know who you are. They're obviously in that ecosystem. They've joined your group. Maybe they're a group member. And a cold is a stranger. Right? A perfect stranger. Now, how do you warm that up? How do you earn your way through that process? Right? Think about that. If I'm saying cold is stranger, warm is friend or group member, hot is active DMs or engagement on my post, raising their hand and saying they want it. In practice, what does that look like? Well, if I come over here, right, and I say I work with, let's say agencies, right? I work with agencies, right? So if I go here and type into the search bar, marketing agency owner. And I go to, let's say people, okay? Here's a whole bunch of people that are cold because they're not my friend yet. They have no idea who I am, right? So I've got cold people here, and I could go here and I could add them as a friend and send them a message, right? And then if I want warm people, I can go here and say, okay, well, who has recently added me as a friend? Who's the most recent friends that I've added? Right? They might not be actively DMing me or engaging with me, but we've got a whole bunch of people there that are warm. Or I could go to my group, right? And this is part of this right here, guys, I'm showing you is hunting grounds. Where do I find these people? You've got a search bar where Facebook has basically spent billions of dollars in 20 years giving you a perfect database of all the clients you could ever want. You got a friends list that you should be adding to every single day. And you've got a group, or we do got a group for the other warm people right here that are all now warm. And if I want hot, what do? I go right here. I'm sure because I've neglected some of this, there's probably comments that have gone unanswered on this 2-step. If I scroll all the way to the bottom, it's loading slow today. I am pretty well, there you go, right? There's a whole bunch right there, right? Look at all these hot conversations that are all too old for my liking that are sitting there ready to go. Or people on this 2-step post, right, that are ready to go. Any of these things can be considered hot. What you're doing basically is this. It's gathering momentum, right? Every single day, you're adding targeted friends. Where do you find them? Exactly where I just showed you, right? The Facebook search bar, the groups, the people, the pages, all of those are basically endless databases of whatever niche you selected. Add them as friends every single day. Send a message to the people that actually accept your friend request, the warm people. Post in a different group every day. Add value, not spam, value. Comment on 3 to 5 pieces of content inside of your feed every day. Post on your personal profile, post in your personal group. These things are important, guys, because how does Facebook give you more reach? How do you get more people to see your shit, right? What did we just say? We said most people want to have hot conversations only, right? You want to have people DMing you and commenting and doing all this stuff. But if nobody sees your shit, how is that ever going to happen? Facebook knows above all else, the most valuable thing for them is attention. And they will reward engagement with engagement. They will show your stuff more frequently to the people you're commenting. I've tested this every single time my reach has ever gone down. The next thing I did is spend the next week commenting and talking to people in the feed who are within my audience or who have an audience of my audience. Why? Because it always gets my posts to have more eyeballs on them. It always gets my stuff to get a little bit more reach and a little bit more stuff going so that we can get those comments every time. So if you want it, if your reach is going down, you want to earn your way to hot conversations, you first need people to actually be on your friends list to see it. You need to be adding friends every single day. You need also to have content that people can actually look at. And you need to be getting engagement and reach so that all of that stuff keeps moving along. And that's what this list is. At the end of the day, what I really want you guys doing is being able to have 30 conversations a day. So if I say I want you to go and send messages to 30 people every day, you're going to work backwards from the hottest of those conversations to the coldest, right? Because that's obviously the best way to use your time. But if you only have 5 people that engaged on any of your 2 steps or that have DM'd you, you still got to go do those 25 other ones, even if that's DMing strangers. And the further back you go, warm, hot, warm, cold, the less likely they are to see your shit and the less likely they are to respond. Everybody who comments on my 2-step post that asks me for the thing, 80% of those people are going to say, thank you. Let's have a conversation because they wanted that shit. Everybody who's warm, maybe 40% of them, 40% of them respond. Like, hey, thanks for accepting a friend request. Looks like you do this kind of shit. I'm going to go over some messenger stuff with you in a second. Right. But 30-40% of them are going to say, okay, cool. Let's continue that conversation. Cold, you're going to get maybe 5-10% of them at most having the conversation. And 1 or 2 of them might be people who are telling you to fuck off. That's just the truth. All right. And could you not ever have to talk to cold people and ever cold DM? Sure. But only if you're willing to eat shit for 3 months and build up your audiences. I don't think who here wants to wait 3 months before making any money? Anybody? No? Who wants to make money tomorrow? Would you rather make a sale tomorrow? Cool. Well, guess what? Pretend I'm the meme that you're going to see all the time on the internet, okay? And I'm unraveling the scroll of truth. Oh shit, it says you got to do the work and eat shit to make that happen. Sorry, that's the way it works, right? And that's the uncomfortable shit. Could you not have to do cold DM? Sure, but you got to also wait, and nobody wants to wait. So if you want it now, you want it fast, you got to do the uncomfortable shit that nobody else is willing to do. And that, unfortunately, is earning your way to hot conversations. Now, the beautiful thing, though, about this whole methodology is if you do this consistently, and that's the hard part, guys, it's the consistency. Because I can't tell you, we've mentored well over 1,000+ agencies now. Do you want to know what 90% of the ones who fail? Why do you think 90% of those who fail? It's almost always the same thing. Almost always the same thing. Oh, they start. Barely, not enough effort, no outreach, not consistent, lack of consistency. Okay, anybody else? They gave up. So lack of consistency and they give up, guys. That's the truth of it. And they give up way too early. It's not even, you don't even really got to do it that long. Honestly, I launched this new profile. If any of you guys have been around for a while, I had a different profile over here and it couldn't get it back open because of some shit that went down with it. It got hacked. I hacked it back and now it just lives here, right? So I had this profile forever. This new one that I have, it took me maybe a month and a half, 2 months. And it was basically here. I only just started really trying to grow it again, right? Using the Perfect Stranger method, I kind of documented it. It was about 30 to 45 days to get it all the way up to here and to start being able to consistently do this kind of a thing again and start generating business again, right? Just to say, if you do it, that's what you'll be able to do is that consistency. Like if I go do it today and I start one, nobody's going to like my posts. Nobody's going to respond to my messages. Nobody's going to give a shit. And if I do it tomorrow, it's the same thing. Maybe I got 3 people that told me to fuck myself and 1 person that answered. And then the next day I get a little bit more. And the next day I get a little bit more. And most people, like I just asked you, are the ones that are going to give up. They're the ones that are going to be like, I did this for 2 days and this isn't working. And they go away. The ones that do it for 3 weeks, 21 days, 28 days, 37 days, all this shit over and over and over again, all of a sudden they'll be drowning in conversations. They'll be drowning in potential. And being able to make that work is important. It's how you just get up and you do the thing every single day. And a big part of that I tell everybody in the GSD, guys, every single person, is you need to actually go and time block this stuff in. Because if you the uncomfortable shit is a lot easier to do when it just dings you on your calendar and you are always listening to it. Okay. It's sitting there and it's like, okay, it's time to send my 30 friend requests. It's time to respond to my messages. It's time to post my content. Have those assets ready to be able to make that happen. Now let's go over to this part here, the content piece. Okay. So what we're doing with content in the Perfect Stranger method is two different types. One is conversion content, and the other is teaching them how to think content. What does that mean? Conversion content is the mission posts, the two-step post, the engagement questions, basically the stuff that's trying to get some form of a conversion, either getting people to raise their hand and say, yes, I want that thing. Let's have a conversation, so that you can give them that thing and then continue the conversation from there. Or it's a longer form, teach them how to think content, which to here, right, where I'm going to tell a story and I'm going to try and push on one of the common mindset issues or the common sales objections that our companies and stuff are hearing or seeing, so that I can teach them to think differently about that. Or it's going to be testimonials and stuff, so I can get you to think differently about our companies and see the differentiator between what we're doing and what others are doing. But every single piece of it is strategic. Every single thing we're doing is either to get you to convert or get you to teach or engage or understand or start a conversation. All of this is strategic, right? Like if I look at a content calendar I made for a GSD student the other day, right? You got teach them, document, which is another teach them, and then ask. Engagement, 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 and then ask, right? What is that you typically do strategically? It's also allowing all of the comments and questions and things you should get on these, if you're doing it right, will also then see when you finally do an ask, when you do a post a few days later. All of those eyeballs, all of that strategy ends up building up, so that when you do the ask, you get more people on there. Strategically too, when I'm doing these types of content, if you've ever commented on one of my posts, you'll notice I usually don't answer all of them. That's because once it dies off, something I can do is I can go back and then answer people on here, and that brings it back into the feed. Another thing that we do a lot of is we have a list of old top posts. Once you've been doing this for a while, I can go, Rahul just did this the other day, actually. You go back to old posts from even years ago and you comment on them again, and it will bring them back up in the feed. Again, because that puts it in front of every single person that's on your friends list, every single person that's in the thing. And so this content where I'm doing long form content, teaching them how to think differently, this content where I'm doing 2 steps to ask them if they want this thing, all of it now has a strategy behind it to make that work. All of it is earning our way to hot conversations. So you get the idea. Now, what do we actually do with this shit? You can see examples, right? Engagement questions. Who are my friends that is using Facebook for organic marketing? Be honest. Have you ever made a sale ever before from social media? Like shit that I want with engagement posts is to get you, I want one person to say hell yeah, and I want the other person to say fuck no, and I want them both to argue in my comments. That's really what I want, because that's the most engagement I could possibly get. Because then when I do a 2-step post or a mission post right after that, what happens? I'm going to get a shit ton of people viewing those things and make that happen. And so with us, right, transitioning it into Messenger is now where it gets important. So now I'm going to move this in. I know that a big reason we're doing this here today is because we're actually doing a little bit of training for our internal team. Okay, so you're going to see a few people on here. So now I'm going to take this into how do we move this into Messenger a little bit, and I'm going to get Rahul to also speak a little bit to this. But what we're doing here, right, I'm going to shift it completely to what we would do for GSD. So when we've got something like this right here, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to say, what's the asset, right? So if we go down to here, right, just dropped a full in-depth training showing exactly what AI videos, tools, prompts, and editing we're using to make video ads that are printing us money, all using AI, right? And that is inside of the school group that we're doing here. And I think it's actually, yeah, these ones. So all you do is you can take this now. If you look at, here's an example of a script that I made for a GSD student, right? You're taking this and you're going, thanks for engaging on my post. Cool if I drop the link here. Or you just, here's the link for the training that you asked for, okay? And you just leave it for a second. A big thing with these types of scripts and these types of situations is always act like a human. Like I know that one thing that me and Rahul harp on all the time is you go in and you just keep going through the script, no matter what they say, it looks dumb, right? All of these types of things work great if you use them as a reference point, but have the conversation you have. And also it's the same as with any sales process. If I get out of you the answer to the question I need, which is why are you talking to me? Really, like obviously you're talking to me because you have some sort of a pain point. If I can just figure out what that pain point is, if I can just understand why it is we're having this conversation, what your biggest pain point is, what's the reason you wanted this? Like, are you using AI video for VSLs? Cool. Are you actually running ads? Cool. Are you able to run ads? Do you need help with that? Awesome, cool. Why don't you want me to hop on a quick call with you and show you some shit that we're doing that makes that work? Right? Because at the end of it, it's this right here. Because you want to get to the point like, hey, what is the biggest issue with your business right now? Or what is this thing that you were using this asset for? Cool. What's another thing that you're looking for help with? Is if you're open to it, we actually have helped, like for us, and this is me talking to our team now, we've helped 1,000 different people solve at least 100 different problems. So getting to understand, like, cool, you got this AI video thing because you're following the hype trend, or are you doing it because actually you want to start learning how to run ads for your clients without them having to shoot videos? Oh, cool. We actually do that inside of our partner program. Like we actually have AI video experts and developers and all this shit, along with the copywriters that could actually help you really master campaigns for that. Would it be worth it to hop on a quick call to see where you're at with all that, see if we could help you even more in that situation? Right? It's simplifying that process. Like for us specifically, again, talking to our guys, we could do these all the time. Me and Rahul could post these and we'll get, I guarantee you, anywhere from 20 to 100 leads every single time we do it. We could do it 2 or 3 times a week. It's something that we used to do consistently.
Pause for a second really quick. Go back to your profile for 1 second, what you were just on. So Cody has some posts. Like if he never posted another post again, like just this one has 118 comments, and that could be a variety of his comments, friends of and family members, so they're mixed in. So let's just slash that in half. Let's just say it's 69. What a great number, right? So it's 69. Of those people that he can reach out to, there's going to be at least 5 to 10 people that may need immediate help. Now, and that's just off one post. If he responds back to the people he's already responded for and said, hey, check your DM, I got something for you, here's a link, and you just give your short code. Like, for example, I'll put in my chat, in the chat here, like this is, like if you add that in your public message, I just shot you a DM, check here with that link, m.me/your Facebook handle. It'll open up immediately into your DMs. So it's one click open and active chat. So it eliminates any friction or laziness from somebody to check later. So when they click it, you have the active conversation. So you can reactivate old leads. So if he goes back to the pandemic years, like 2019, 2020 to 2021-ish, right around there, we can go back to those old commenters and see how they're doing now. And that's going back 4 or 5 years ago. But with what we do in the digital world, the AI world, the ads world, the CRM world, the automation world, this is never, ever going to expire. So the older, in some crazy way, the only way leads die is if you stop following up and staying in front of them. So like I posted in the GSD group, a 4-year conversation by email, not wasting time. It's using the perfect stranger method, but taking it out of social, putting it into email with follow-ups, and out of nowhere, a person who needed a website still needed a better website. $10,000 later, here we go, and 30 minutes of follow-up over a 4-year period. So the only time a lead ever dies is like when Cody started this live, it's when you give up. That's really what it comes down to. So everything supplements everything. If people are following you on social, on Facebook, forget the other channels, just Facebook, and you have their information. Now you have phone, email ability, you have text message capability, you have DM capability, and then you have tagging capability. So you can tag people in the comments. You have 5 unique methods to be able to shift the conversation around. You can text them saying, hey, I just shot you an email. Let me know you got it. Just thumbs up this for simplicity. If they thumbs up it, you now know they got the email. Now you can either wait for a response or give them a call because now you know they're available. So we're kind of using this perfect stranger method based around your selling process. Some people don't want to do phone calls. They just want to handle it via DM, which is perfectly fine. You just have to have clarity on how you describe what you do on a Google Doc, a landing page, or a video, and then have an imminent need and a pain point that you solve for that target audience. So it's really kind of coming down to mastering, like, what's the pain point? How can you post like value-based messages to give something away or offer some sort of solution to a pain point, whether it's free or paid, to get the engagement from the people you've already earned. It could be your friends, it could be your family, it could be somebody you met just yesterday. connect with them on social. It's just so much easier to use this as your journal of your business to just broadcast the message. And like Cody mentioned, this will take some time to build up the audience and your target audience. So if you're working with a unique audience like plumbers or HVAC or whatnot, you're going to want to network. You're going to want to build up your profile, join those groups, add the value. But over consistency, all this stuff works. Now, let's take away the consistency for a moment. And let's take away this whole entire training for a moment that you don't want free leads, you just want to buy them. Now, with having value on your Facebook ad or your Facebook walls or your social walls and running the paid ads, it doesn't have to be a lot if you don't do a lot of social. With ChatGPT and all the assets you have today, it's kind of like almost a no-brainer just to keep it up in a couple minutes a day. But people who click ads look you up. When they look you up and they see your results, they see your profile, they see your authority in that space, they get more confident. When they get more confident, then they stop looking at all the million ads they're about to see because they're going to get retargeted with all the technology available today. When they watch television, an ad for what they look for might show up on a TV screen, on YouTube for sure, on TikTok for sure, on all the other platforms. So you're creating your own competition in some respect. So the faster, the more content, it's kind of like, I call it the Kobe to Shaq method, where it's like if they see the paid ad, they click it, and then they start following you and they have you on Facebook, it adds that organic validation because now they're going to get to know who you are. They're going to be able to believe you. Ads, you can see every ad you click on, you're going to see some donkey commenting bullshit, right? Some spam. These guys suck. They're spammers, whatever. That's just broke people doing broke people things that have never tried anything. But that's why the organic is so powerful because it builds trust. It builds authority. They can doom scroll on Cody's profile page and say like, oh, wow, that was good. Let me see what else he has. Oh, wow, that was good. Oh, wow, we have 18 friends in common. Who are they? So now they're just doing natural exploration. And when Cody DMs them, it's almost like a celebrity shock. Like, oh my God, that guy just DM'd me. Right. And it doesn't even have to be Cody himself. It could be Michael. It could be Bryce. It could be a virtual assistant. It could be anybody. Right. So this is a really, really good way to scale things just for free with the time you already have. Everybody has free time. It's just whether you prioritize it or not. Right. Is that fair to say? Do you guys all have free time? You just don't have free time for the people you don't want to talk to. Right. So with this, with free time that you have, would this type of training be worth it, knowing that you could get your next client that pays you the lifetime value of what you're worth? Would it be worth investing the time into this? Put a yes or a no. No's are okay. You don't have to agree with me because I'm going to do it every single fucking day because it takes 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes. Once you get the rhythm of how simple this is, you'll be kicking yourself, shoot, I should have been more consistent. Live in that regret right now and use that as your fuel and motivation to not be lazy. And one key point is who gives a shit what people think? Who gives a shit about the outcome? The outcome is uncontrollable until you get more skill. Just do the activity. The outcome will come. That's the uncontrollable is the outcome. Okay. The controllable part is doing this part. Okay. That's all I wanted to show, Cody.
So I love that last part. Just do the outcome. Because again, like I tell this story all the time. When me and Rahul launched Real Estate Rainmakers, however many years ago now, it was just us talking to ourselves in a group for a while. Our first webinar we did to 4 people. We just said, why don't you just come on here and tell us if we're shit or not? And I think we sold them all, but that's not really the point. The point was we were just talking to nobody just to get better at it, right? And that's what
I did a webinar in that same group where like 50 people responded. I'm like, hell yeah, this is gonna be the bomb. 0 people showed up. So I still went live anyways. I'm like, fuck it. It gives me an opportunity to practice.
And it really is just about that though, guys. Like it's about just practicing. It's about doing the activity and knowing the outcome will come. Today, maybe 1 person responds and 2 people accept your friend request. Tomorrow, maybe 2 more. The next day, maybe 5. Right. But all of a sudden you do that for 30 days straight. Obviously you've stacked a bunch of good conversations and you're doing a bunch of things right now. And that momentum you got to lean on. Right. And we got to also, as entrepreneurs, remember that it's not we're way too fast to push past the victories and way too fast to lean into the sadness. That's just how we all are. Oh yeah, made a bunch of money. Cool. That's over. Let's go make more money. Oh, this guy said no to me 4 weeks ago. So fuck that guy. Right. Like that's unfortunately a lot of the mindset. We need to not have that. Now, we talked about the hot. Let's talk a little bit about the warm. Where do we find the warm people? Like we just said, we would come in here. We can see the friends who have added us recently. Or I can go to my group and go to the group here and go into recent, recent member requests if we had these. Looks like the team's finally doing that right. And we could message people. We have questions in here normally, so we can message them based on the questions that they've answered, welcome them to the group, and give them free gifts. For our thing specifically, it works almost just exactly like these 2 steps. Instead of saying thanks for engaging my post, it says you would say thanks for joining the group. We welcome people with these free goodies, because there's honestly inside of the group or inside of my YouTube channel, there's endless free trainings that people would pay lots of money for. I know they would, because they do all the time. We sell them for $97 before we put them on here. So it is what it is, right? Give them those gifts, welcome them. Hey, I noticed on your profile, you're selling a lot of voice AI. We've actually got some really cool trainings on that. I wanted to give it to you as a gift and welcome you to the group, right? And then they say, thank you. And again, quick question, are you having any struggles? Here's a few things you might have struggles with. Here's a person that we've helped do that same thing, right? All right, now we've seen with our group, you can do reactivations too. You can go, there's 13,000 and a half people in here. We've had new setters come in before, and they'll go all the way back to these olden times, be like, hey, go scroll, whatever. And you're like, hey, I noticed you've been in the group for a week, or I noticed you've been in the group for 2 weeks or 4 weeks. Anybody ever reach out to you and give you our present? Hey, Jojo, I noticed you've been in our GSD group for over 2 weeks now. Just by chance, did you ever get the free gift that we give out to people? Oh, no? Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad I reached you then, because we actually give everybody these 2 trainings or this snapshot or this asset or this page or whatever the hell we want to give away to start the conversation. Oh, thank you so much. That's actually amazing. Cool. Have you checked out any of the trainings? Have you seen any of the stuff with Cody and Rahul, et cetera, right? You ask those questions, you give them a gift, you break the ice, and you move on. The warm part is really about, the reason it's warm and it's not cold is because I have something to reference. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't know you at all and you're a complete stranger. It's, hey, you were on my friends list forever. I never actually noticed. I see you're doing this and I have a bunch of shit for that. Cool, here you go. So I'm referencing it. Or you've been in my group forever. We actually give free presents to everybody who join our groups, because we love to bribe people with free stuff. You ever get that bribe? No? Cool, right? Easier than having a cold conversation. The cold conversations, which is where we go to actually doing the search bar and the other stuff on there, that's when you move back to this kind of stuff here. And this is where we've got, opener variations. Why do we have opener variations instead of a set strategy for this? Is because you got to test how you get responses. Because again, what did I say? Cold, you're going to get maybe a 5% response rate, and half those people are going to tell you go fuck yourself. So that's it. Excuse my French, or anybody whose kids around. I swear a lot on these calls, just to warn you. But you got to just test it out. You got to figure it out. What's a good way to do it? Right? Like I'm working with these types of things, or you could even go to their profile and reference certain things about them, or you could just be direct and ask them if they want that kind of stuff, like soft curiosity, interrupted humor. Find what's the best way for you to start a conversation, because a lot of the cold stuff really does come down to that. Like, how do I get them to respond? Then once they're actually responding me, how do I get that one piece of information in a conversation? And then how do I transition that to a close, to a call? Right. And a lot of times it's about going to their profiles or having a generalized curiosity question, or just being super friendly and just really trying to get them to answer. Hey man, I was in this group, or I was searching around on here and I found you from this place. And I just thought that, you look like you're doing something just like me, would love to network with you. Or, hey, was looking at your profile. Looks like you work with real estate agents. They're a bunch of bastards, aren't they? Something funny you say to them, because you know that whatever the hell it is, right? If you're a humor person, lean into humor. If you're a straight to the point person, get direct and be okay with the bullshit that comes from that and have a response to that, right? Like, you got to find for the cold what you got to do to make that kind of work. But it really all comes down to, and let's spread it back out now. We just went deep. Let's zoom out for a second. How do I build my audience? You've got hunting grounds of other people's groups who have spent a lot of money building that audience for you. If you just add value, add friends, and do not ever post conversion type content in there, you'll build that audience up. How do you get engagement? By engaging in those groups, posting value, posting content consistently, and engaging with your perfect clients in your feed, right? How do you get conversations? How do you earn your way to hot conversations? Well, you earn warm conversations by adding targeted specific friends every single day. You add them, invite them to your groups, your YouTube channels, wherever it is that you're going to have that bigger thing. How do I get hot conversations? By posting good conversion-based content consistently, by actually giving value so people actually inbound DM you. And how do I actually make any money out of that? Is through transitioning all of these types of relationships through Messenger, the way I was just telling you there, and understanding the work that you have to put in to kind of make that happen. Rahul, is there anything else you wanted to cover on that before I do Q&A?
Yeah, like I mean, when we're talking about doing the like giveaway, something to bribe something, I'm gonna go back to my Costco roots here. I never worked there, but I'm a big fanatic of the place. I truly go there sometimes for the free samples and leave.
I'm surprised you don't have your uniform on today.
I know. But then the problem is with getting free samples is that you buy shit. So they lured me in with a thought and perception that I'm about to go get a free taquito. And then I'm going to go around the thing and come right back to the same guy and pretend I'm somebody else and get another one. But then I like them, then you buy them. So that's the same thing with this particular method. If we took it offline in that life example and brought it online to reaching like a digital economy from anywhere over the globe or any region or territory that you offer, when you have something valuable for free, like we do in the GSD group, like Cody mentioned, these bribes. Some of our stuff, like we've been giving the same stuff away, it just adds more to it, like our free agency course, like our agency foundations 1.0. With the number 1.0, there's clearly a 2.0. So we're willing to give away a previous version that's still relevant. It's still relevant if they went through the training, that they get to see, feel, touch, and hear us through the computer, build the trust in a relationship to know that, hey, if these guys reach out, I'd be proactive in a response. That's our mentality. But we also, as the setters, the salespeople running and operating a business, we realize that people have fear, people have doubt, people don't have all the knowledge in the world, where they may be like, I got the course, I don't know what to do next. And if we reach out to them, then they're going to be like, oh, maybe they can help. But they don't let it run through their thought process. Oh, what if I proactively reach them? They won't always do that. In fact, the majority of the people that will stay in their own pain, trying to trial and error the rest of their life until you guys come in. Right. So that's what the active of these conversations are. And trust me when I say this, for the digital people, or some of you guys mentioned you're not in the digital land, plumbers, roofers, solar, you're not going to go expire. They're always going to need some solution. We make the presumption and assumption that they're not doing okay, that something got screwed up. They made the wrong decision. They bought the wrong widget. They bought a shiny object that got things worse than improving. So just assume that the assumption is they need you, not they've done something. Anybody who buys something from a competitor and goes with somebody cheaper, they're going on the wall. I'm like smiling ear to ear. I'm like, cool. This actually does help, because now I can cut my conversation now, keep them warm through my content, follow up in 2 or 3 weeks with a text, email, or an invite to a free webinar, knowing that they made a fucked up decision. Now, if they made a good decision, awesome, they're in the right place. But if they didn't, and knowing how this digital world works, where people have loyalty at the all-time low and changing at the sight of a problem, we want to be there at that point in time. Does that make sense? That's why your hottest leads are the people that you've already talked to, because you invested so much time, effort, and energy and still didn't get it done. And then you just keep the nurture. Improve the sales process, improve the urgency, improve the quantity of people you can work with. So you have some sort of like limitations on quantity and limitations on time to work with you at this price point, or have a foot in the door offer where it just gets the party started. So you'll have to learn some sort of nuances beyond the perfect stranger method will match make you with the people you want to talk to. Then after that, there may be some help that you may need. Is it the right offer? Is it the right price? Do you have a drop sell? Do you have an upsell? Do you have a cross sell? Do you have a starting point? Do you have the sales systems, the automations, the follow up? So you don't have to, like in Cody's script, I noticed that it said, are you doing something manually? That he was sharing that he built out for another coach. These are things that we don't have to do manually. The authentic conversation could be manual. It could be copy and paste. It could be modified based on your scenarios. But automations like sending in materials, automated follow-ups, all those types of things will allow you to bulk nurture at once. Bryce, go ahead.
Yeah, so this could also work for any other platform, correct? Because we just had someone book 4 meetings in the same day using this on LinkedIn, though, right?
Yeah, this exact concept works great. Specifically, the messenger strategy works on any platform. We've booked and closed people from TikTok, Instagram. You can't DM on YouTube, so we've never done it. But specifically, I can remember lots from Instagram, lots from a couple from automations on LinkedIn, lots from Facebook, and one from TikTok when we were pushing that a little bit. The content strategies differ on each platform, but the rest of it is all the same.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of your wherewithal. Like I'm a big fan. Like I'm more leaning heavy on Instagram, Facebook. That's just because I'm so used to it. It's like my main social platform. My secondary, I'm gonna bulk Instagram, Facebook into one because it all goes through the same inbox. But then for LinkedIn, I'm barely on there. So now I've just started to post every now and then, just something that I can stay consistent. Now I'm not doing it every day. I am on Facebook every day, but on LinkedIn, it's just like weekly is my goal, and then I'll just ramp it up, and then I'll probably hire someone to copy and paste my content for me. But then just out of one conversation, somebody we met in Canada at the Web Summit, I forgot we met him, and then I noticed he showed up in my profile, so I DM'd him, and then he ended up buying just through DMs the Thinker platform. Right, so I'm just using the same method on a different platform because it's the same concept. It's a communication tool, right? And then the same method can work on email. The same method can work on text messaging. So it's not limited to a platform. We just call it the perfect stranger method, so we can get and make the conversation more intimate and get it further along into their business. I mean, there's good little nuances like start with conversation. Once you feel like you have a prospect that you can really help, then I raise the intimacy with a audio note. And I try to be respectful of audio notes because if somebody sends me a 3-minute one, good luck getting me to fucking even open that. I'd probably ban that person forever. So I keep it in like 30 to 45 second increments, so it's easy for them to listen to the whole thing. So time and attention, and then the next level of intimacy would be selfie video. Send it to them because now they can see what you look like, how you operate, your mannerisms, your patterns, your behaviors, how fluid your speaking is. And it raises the intimacy and it deepens the relationship to a complete perfect stranger, if you will. So that was a good question. Yeah, any platform.
Yeah, so like I told you guys a couple of days ago, I started with the perfect stranger method all over and just Facebook, HVAC, and I'm trying to drop like every 15-30 minutes a new post. And I mix match between missed calls and DBR. And
I don't know that you need to be posting that much. But I mean, I'm sure that'll work, that'll help, but it's going to be hard to keep up with. But that, like, typically I'm doing 1 or 2. When I'm really in it, it's like 1 or 2 a day kind of thing. But you could do more than that, but you keep going.
yeah, so and then I mix match, right? Missed call, DBR, also just a short post with like the purple and background. And I'm including the CTA in each and every one. I don't know if I should not, but just
No, I mean, no, that's just straight no. I think it should be like a lot of people get hung up on that even when they're posting like long form teach them how to think content. People will still try and like add like they get in this habit where they're like, here's a big story about my client. If you want us to do this for you too, let me know. They will fucking let you know. Trust me. Right? If you just tell them the story and you just document and all that stuff. Like I tell the story of Kim Fancher. I like her story because she had no idea what she was doing. She came from a program that failed her and she just borrowed our confidence and she just documented. She did some ads, got a client, did some ads for that client, documented doing the ads for the client, just said, hey, I just got a bunch of leads for this landscaper client. Oh, hey, we just booked him out for the next 3 weeks. Oh, we had to actually pause the ads because he's so full of jobs. She didn't say, we could do this for you too. We could do this for you too. But it took her from 0 to like $25,000 months in like 60 days, I think, or something, right? And $25,000 months might not be, the be all end all, but for her, she's a mom who didn't have a job and started with nothing. So in 60 days, that was huge for her. And all she did was the perfect stranger method. And most of her content, which I frankly think is one of the most powerful types, just document, don't create. We just did this for this client. We just got this result for this client. Here's what we did. Look over my shoulder while I build a campaign for them. Here's a graphic that we use. Here's a campaign that we did, right? And naturally, if you're doing the other most important thing, which is adding the audience that gives a shit about that content every single day, they will reach out to you. So I would ramp that down to like 2 or 3 posts at most a day. And you only want to be doing at most like think of like Gary V's jab, right hook book, right? Or whatever he talks about. You got to fill the bucket before you can take from it. If all you're doing is taking from it all day long, hey, do you want this? Hey, I have this offer for you, people are going to drown that shit out. You need them to get into your store. You need them to think differently about everything. And and then when you make an ask, they're going to be like, oh, obviously I want your shit because you just taught me how fucking awesome you are the last 3 or 4 times. Right.
Yeah, so then document what you're doing in around your offer. Like for example, let's say you just got off a phone for a client that didn't buy but had interest. Post that. Use this timeline to create engagement or at least authority. It doesn't matter the like likes or comments because I mean can't really put those in the bank account anyway, right? We want to thrive to get I'm interested comments at some point. But I would say just hung up with a 3 location HVAC with 30 trucks. We're looking to implement voice AI to do their after hours service post. So it's a statement. Now you're just telling everybody the multi-location 30 trucks going to do after hour voice AI. Now it's going to cause curiosity if you have a list of people that are following you in that world. The second part with what I would do if I were you personally is either a VA or carve out like a couple hours a month to begin with. Go Google or go on whatever Spotify, find out who's in HVAC who has a podcast. Try to be a guest on there in collaboration and make them either an affiliate or somehow of you to say, hey, let's talk about voice AI for HVAC. Come up with a pitch to them because if they're an HVAC podcaster and they have HVAC people following them and you're a guest on there and the show notes show like your website and about you, you have content at the very worst case scenario that you can spread and share on your own profile as a podcast, being a guest on a podcast. But then B, if they have an audience, then you can get free traffic to you. And now you're a mini authority in that space. Like Mohan did one for some podcaster in New Zealand. Right after that, our traffic spiked like fucking crazy. Like we were getting like 30 inquiries a day.
Wow.
Yeah, just off one. He had like a YouTube channel of like 600,000 people. The show notes were okay, not really the call to action we wanted, but it caused a lot of phone calls. We wanted them to just buy online versus talk to us, quite honestly. But then it drove it to our contact form and whatever. We got a lot of inquiries, bunch of closes out of it, right? So we're leveraging other people's audiences. Yeah, the old school way of this, and it's still pretty relevant, it's like guest blogging was the thing to get in front of other audiences, right? For those of you guys that are in SEO world, get on a blog like Duct Tape Marketing or SEO Journal or whatever. If you can get your way into it and you write a good article and give away resources, people will take those resources and that traffic that they've spent their whole lives building, if it goes to that particular blog topic and gets featured on their homepage, you could have 100,000 hits and maybe get like, I don't know, 200, 300 plus leads if you have a good CTA that's not salesy. Kind of build the relationship from a stranger, right? So the first thing is ask them out on a date with something simple, a free gift, an audit or whatever it may be, and then lean them back in through trust that they're more likely to buy from you guys than somebody else. Cool. All right, Aaron, and then we got Jesse, then Michael.
Yeah, so I'm brand new to the Perfect Stranger method.
Yep.
And finding like the right Facebook groups to join. And then once I do join them, I mean, would it be a bad idea if I just went through like 20 a day and just DM'd them and messaged them, and then while also like posting like some added value to the post? But then even I know School is a new platform that people are using, and even finding like a school group to join, and even like DMing people inside of a school group.
I'm going to give you some. So let me cut you off there. Aaron's on our team. He's on the GSD. I'm just going to say, go through the GSD group because you have 13,000 plus agency owners already.
Yeah,
in there.
you don't need anything more than our own group and like the high level group that has 110,000 agencies using high level. Like those, if all you had were those two hunting grounds, you'll feed yourself for the next year before we have to worry.
Well, I would say the next decade.
Yeah.
Awesome. That answers my question. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Jesse.
Now, one thing I will say is there's differences, right? I do want to explain this because I think it's relevant for everybody else. When the things you do and say to your own group are not the things that you do and say to other people's group, right? So like in our group, we can reach right out to them, say, hey, you're in our group, the GST thing. Did you get that present that we give to everybody? Let's talk about it. When you're in the GHL group, don't say things like, hey, we're in this, like that's old thing that you used to be able to do. We're in the same group and we should talk about it. Like people don't like that shit anymore. So what you do in our group, you DM them directly and you do that kind of stuff. And then when you're doing the other groups, if you're going to DM them directly, use cold openers and just do it that way. Don't reference the group or you'll get kicked the fuck out of it. That's just the way it is. And you also want to be in their group, like adding value. So like you see a whole bunch of posts about voice AI and how to help their agency and all that stuff, get the answer, post the answers and become an authority. I've seen people who frankly, in the nicest way possible, I have no idea what the hell they're talking about because we were coaching them and I know they don't know anything about GHL, become a well-known person in GHL simply by showing up there every single day and talking a lot on the posts. Like familiarity, honestly, creates more authority than almost anything else. Just seeing a person answer questions, because you don't know if they're answering the fucking questions right or not, but them sitting there answering the questions, and a couple of people being like, oh, that was super helpful. If you see that over and over again, that person who you had no idea who they were, all of a sudden within a couple of weeks, I guarantee you start to think of them as, oh, maybe they know. Maybe you even tag them. Maybe you go look at their profile, right? That's what you do in other people's groups to make that happen. So that kind of makes sense, Aaron? Jesse, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick question. Are you starting out with a profile or a page?
Always profile. Always profile.
Always.
Pages are paid to play. The times of pages getting organic reach died like 10 years ago. You aren't going to get a single eyeball on anything you post on a page unless you put ad spend behind it. So the only time we post, only strategic purpose for posting the content on the pages is so that if I am running ads, I don't want it to look empty. Right? If you click through to the page, I don't want it to look like we just got started. But that, other than that, these organic strategies are all done with profiles. Now, you used to be against terms of service to create a second profile for business only, but Facebook reversed course on that. And now you can actually have multiple personal profiles. You can even make one easy. So if you don't want your friends and stuff, you want to have one dedicated to that, just create a separate page for it and go from there.
My argument there is keep your friends on there. Don't start a new page if you can avoid it. If like some people make the assumption, well, I annoy my friends. Who cares? If they're your friends, they'll buy from you and they'll champion you and like you and give you comments as well. Because that's why, like, I'm fully aware. Like, I love selling to my friends just because they're more likely to buy from me than some complete stranger, right? And if I don't tell them what I do constantly because I'm not going to call all my friends, but like, hey, I still do GHL and AI. Do you want to do something, buddy? I'm just going to post on the profile. And trust me, like when I see like people that I haven't seen from like even high school or 3 years ago, when I run into them, they'll be like, dude, you're killing it. And then I'm just thinking to my head, you have no idea if I am or not. But what they see, they think is true, right? So presence is absolutely a matter of a fact.
Thanks,
right?
Guys.
So think about that perception. I post 3 times in one fucking day and all of a sudden it equates killing it in the minds of somebody else. Michael, you're up.
Yeah, so like when building like your personal brand and your page and profile, like would you recommend what are your thoughts on like these paid for shout outs, paid for posts, like from these, like you get all these DMs from like these big accounts wanting to like you to pay $100 and they'll promise you'll get X amount of followers from it. Like if it's in your niche, like you get good results from that.
If it's in your niche, yes. That's really it. Like, and it's like, what value does a follower have for you, right? Where does it fit in? Like, if you go buy a cheap ass automation product that adds 1 million bots to your account and ruins your whole thing, like, and now the actual customers will never see any of your shit. Was that worth it? Are you just looking for clout, right? Now the shout out stuff we've done before, and it works. We didn't really find. I don't think we stuck with it long enough, but because it really didn't do much. But I think if you had a proper shout out strategy and also had a good setter team that was literally in the thing. So for instance, if you guys wanted to use my profile and we had somebody that was actually going to be dedicated to being inside of that profile, doing the perfect stranger method, we would commit to probably investing in some shout outs too, to get more followers, more eyeballs for you to go do. But it's only if you have that strategic setup the whole way through that it makes sense, because it's going to get you not as many followers as you want, but it will get you followers, and each one's going to be different. So you just kind of got to, it's a hit or miss thing. You got to kind of go through the process, do a few, see where the best ones are, and repeat.
Yeah, you're basically buying real estate on somebody else's Instagram profile or social profile that built up traffic for an audience that you want to attract, and you pay them money, whatever they want to charge or negotiate. You get it on their story is going to have a price, get it on their wall will have a price, get a carousel will have a price, etc. The length of time will have a factor. So you just pay somebody who already has the traffic to drive the traffic to you. And then it's going to be like, at first it's going to be just trial and error. Then it's going to turn and develop into skill to know what can get you a result. And then you just do math. If I spend $5,000, can I break even? If the answer is yes, do it. Because then anything above break even is pure profit, right? So the key is first level break even. Second level is upsell and you're instantly profitable. Third level is go back and follow up with those leads that opted in that didn't close, and it's even more profitable. So that's kind of how I look at ads. So it'd be great to say, hey, 10x your ads, but that's how you 10x it, break even fucking first and take that risk rather than make the decision. If I don't 10x it, I'll never start, but then you'll never know if you never start. So it kind of equates, and you're always rewarded with doing something. And if it doesn't work, you get a better reward because you learned something. It's the risk reward, right? That's the definition of entrepreneurship. Take the risk, get the reward. Don't take the regret or the risk, live with the regret. Cool. Any other questions around the perfect stranger method? Like, this thing is something that we've been doing. Like, you guys have probably been doing this your whole entire lives, right? It's just organic networking. It could be in a human environment. You bump the person next to you in the restaurant that you never met. You start a conversation, it gets to work. You may do some business and exchange business cards or phone numbers. So the perfect stranger method exists everywhere. Right? You can wear a hoodie, like when I go to a restaurant, because I wear the same clothes every day. If I don't wear a GSD sweater, they'll be like, oh, where's the GSD sweater? Great. A local branding mechanism just because I walk around in the same hoodie every day. So do the same thing. Like, it doesn't mean make a t-shirt, you get rich. It's just represent your brand at all stages, because you're a walking person that owns a business. So be the business and the person all how's your day? You know what? I was working on a voice AI account, installing it in an HVAC company. It went off without a hitch. So I'm doing great. How's your day? Hands up, buddy.
Yeah. So I'm starting to wrap my head around the perfect stranger method. So I'm in a group. I post something of like value that I'm going to get people to comment on and say like, wow, that's a great idea. I never thought about that. Or how did you implement that? Or how'd you do that? And then that's when I engage with them. And then the people that comment in or like it, I could go into their profile, friend request them, and when they accept it, then I would respond with, hey, like, you know, the templates of what to say. I guess that's where I would need help with. And
We'll diagram those out for you guys, because like the majority of Aaron's calls that he's taking, I know what Aaron does. It's going to be like a hook in something that people want is going to be some automation or GHL customization, right? So the storytell that we can come around, if we're going to do a value-based post, let's say in the GHL community, we have graphics of the outcome of the project. We share it and we describe what we did, and just say it's super exciting to see something go from idea to concept to delivery. Here's what we did for a client. Hope this inspires you guys too. Now I'm not asking for a call to action, but it is a call to action, right? I'm just I'm doing my own PR to help the community with content that they could do it too. The result becomes, can I talk to you? How did you do it? I need that. Then there's going to be authentic questions like, can you help me explain this to a client? Then there's going to be the charity help, right? So you can always help those people if you want to, but we're really looking to prioritize the comments that actually need what you just posted about. So you can take that conversation to the DMs, and then from the DMs, I'll show you the faster tricks. Like, we can always earn the conversation, like the scripts. I'm a pretty impatient person. When I know they know me and they've been following me, like, or I can just kind of look them up. If we have any kind of connectivity, I'm going to skip the whole script and be like, yo, I know that we can do this on DMs. It'll probably be faster over a 5-minute call. I'm not available right now, but if you drop your phone number, I'll shoot you a text when I am. So I'm holding my ground of authority. I'm not free for you now. Just give me your phone number and let's take this, make it quicker for 5 minutes. So that's my first move. I can always go back and be like, well, can we talk here first? If that's what they say, then obviously I didn't read the conversation correct, but I'm still in the conversation. I can go back to script, what Cody had flashed up on the screen. Because the outcome of what we're trying to do is get to the conversation and furthering it. It doesn't mean we're trying to get a sale. We're just navigating it. What if they want to buy from you, but they're a complete asshole? We don't want to sell that, right? You don't want to get verbally abused by somebody who thinks that you're all of a sudden their boss. That's not the way this world works. Or if they want you to do something that's $10,000 for $2, we don't need to do those conversations. It's unqualified for the ideal client profile. Yeah, because early stage, focus on how you can gain clients. Once you have enough revenue, then we'll focus on how we can gain clients plus help people for free. Right? Because take care of yourself first before you help others, for free at least. Right? Kind of like an airplane. The pilot's basically saying, let your kid die until you have your mask on. Once yours is on, then go help the kid, right? So it's take care of yourself first so you can help an infinite amount of people. And that's how business works. Bryce.
Yeah, so really, I mean, the end goal is whether it's a warrant reach through Facebook meeting, right? So let's say meeting they don't show, they're still warmer than someone else you've been talking to. How would you re-engage someone where to get them back on track, right? Because Ahmad had some good messages. You said he learned it from Perfect Stranger. I know we're going to have calls booked from this method. How would you get them back on track with follow-up? Because now you have their email and Facebook DM.
Right. Okay, so you booked them through the DMs, you got them on the calendar, you have their name, email, phone number, and they've hit accept and they no show. First, we want to start off with prevention. So we need an automation to, as a reminder, maybe some content to hype up the conversation call with a result, like a 1 minute, 3 minute reel or some sort to keep them going. So from the automation standpoint, we want to warm them up pre-call. Secondarily, call them to confirm that they're going to be on time so you can either reschedule or move forward with the call. They don't answer, shoot them a text. I'll see you on the Zoom. It's 4 p.m. Pacific today. Looking forward to our chat. And if now you're there and they're not, then we just have to make the assumption that an emergency happened. And then we have to do, now we go into rebooking. We have automations already built in where we can either go guilt ways or empathy way. Guilt way saying, hey, I was on the call for about 15 minutes just waiting for you and I noticed I was alone. What happened? Like, is everything okay? So it's kind of like guilt. I just want, you owe me a response type of angle. The other part is like, oh no, I didn't miss you. I hope everything's okay. Like, did you have an emergency come up or just forget? Right. So then we just want to move them back. And then we'll, like, when you have these no-show lists, like people who aren't showing, either like in the CRM, keep them really, really tidy of who no-showed or who and whatnot. Keep it on a whiteboard, a piece of paper. Don't really care how we organize it as long as we organize it. Or on the calendar, you can have like mark it as free in your calendar, make it red for so it stands out on your calendar, and then commit to like a 30 or as your follow-ups get bigger, create a bigger follow-up block. Like Monday, Tuesdays are great days to do the follow-ups because those are Mondays are really high no-show rate and Friday afternoons are too. So you can kind of use Monday, Tuesday to build your week, to go back to those follow-ups. And if you're working weekends or whatever, Saturdays are always good days. Sundays are a little iffy. I personally don't care who I call at any time, but it's kind of iffy a little bit. It's more productive to work on yourself and your skills on Sundays and prepare for the week. But Saturdays are great days because people in business like myself, I'm just kind of using myself as how I'd want to be treated from other people. I'm free on fucking Saturday. In fact, I'm more free because I don't want to do anything personal. I just don't want to do anything with clients all the time. Like, I don't mind doing Savage Saturdays that I enjoy, but when it comes to like availability, that's the best time you're going to get my attention because I don't have to go from like helping somebody on the team or checking a Slack message and focusing on my 7 a.m. to like 7 p.m. is like, I already got shit to do. I don't have room for more stuff all the time unless it's important. But if you wanted to catch me because I'm curious of something, then Saturday would be the best time to close it. And you also find people that are a little bit more calm. The customer that yelled at them on Friday, they're more relaxed because nobody can reach them on Saturday, right? So it's kind of like, I feel like Saturdays, I don't know, you guys agree with me or disagree, but I feel like it's a breath of fresh air sometimes getting to the weekend. You're still going to work most likely, but you don't owe anybody your time on weekends. Unless you choose to. All right, back to you, Aaron.
Yeah, I was curious, do we have any partners that really just ran with the Perfect Stranger method and that really just took off for their agency?
Everybody that's implemented and didn't give up has had success and got clients from it. So it's a proven model
there's
that
100 testimonial videos on every page.
Yeah.
That are
Well, this will work, and I'm like, we won't live long enough, but this will work until all of us are dead. Yeah, so it's just every era poses a new opening. Like the old school, the only way to find a business was maybe a magazine or a yellow page or a billboard way back in the day. The only way to sell shit was knock on people's doors. Now we have a modernized version of that at scale with like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all sitting behind our computers too. Like we don't have to go anywhere. We just need internet and something to type with.
Yeah.
Right. So if you break it down to the simplicity of it, do I need a good camera for a Zoom call? No. Like, look at mine. I don't even know if I'm even looking in the camera because I'm on an iPad. I have no idea where the camera is. I have fucking Cheetos in the background, a box, right? So it does not matter. It just matters the depth and breadth of what you do and how good you are. right? So I wouldn't worry about like equipment. I know that might come up because I've had people say like, what mic should I get? I'm like, the mic you have. You know, there's no reason to stay stuck over silly things. What do I say to something? Anything. Start it. You're gonna fail, so might as well get it out early. You're gonna accidentally offend somebody. Get it out early. Don't overthink things. Do the thing first. So like a key thing is if you want to be good at soccer, go play soccer. If you want to be good at sales, go do sales. If you want to be good at DMing, start DMing. Right? There's no perfect script. Otherwise, if I knew everybody would make $2 million, guess what my price would be for the perfect script that would make you $2 million in a year? $1 million. Right? So we can give you the frameworks and then take it to your audience and modify it. Yeah, what Cody had showed there on the, are you able to share that one more time real quick so we can just have a flash of the screen? Look at these things as frameworks. That's why I don't care who screenshots
Well, what do you want me to share specifically?
Just that script that you had up, I think it was Stevens or something, that DM script. Yeah, that. So we've been using this Excel Google Sheet format for years since we started writing scripts for people and ourselves. And all of it is a framework. The script just means we're actors and actresses, but unfortunately we're not getting paid by Hollywood, right? Or directors. So now we're going to use these as frameworks. So we have like our opener, our humor, our pattern interrupts, our middle of the conversation, our deeper dive. Now, if something doesn't work, you have to pivot on the fly, right? So so use these things as frameworks, not the law. You can start off by copying and pasting, which is what we did. We just wrote it the way we would say it. Then we just copied and pasted for speed. And then when we had to have other people do it, we had to give variances because like Cody and I come up with like stage 1, stage 2, stage whatever, the infinite stages that could happen. And then we're good at pivoting because it's in our head, but then we have to knowledge transfer it to a lot of people, our own team, people who pay us, etc. Then we just create it into a framework. Once like a couple of weeks of this, you'll be coming up with better humor tactics than we will, right? You'll have like fun with it. Like when I get somebody ghosting me, instead of saying, hey, you didn't show up, like Bryce had asked before, you can stop the screen share. Like we come up with little nuances that add humor to people. Everybody likes to laugh, I imagine. So stand-up comedy is kind of funny. So I try to bring that to lighten the conversation, to pivot it back to business. It's like if I got ghosted, I'd say, hey, Mason, this feels like prom all over again. Feeling stood up, ... Should I cancel the limo bus, ? And somebody has to fucking laugh at that, right? So they might just go, I got busy. Now the truth comes out, not problem. Now we're back in the pocket to rebook. Now, why is that important on every single conversation, to stay disciplined and take every conversation as serious as you can until they give you reasons that they're going to waste your time or not be a good fit? It's because calculate your lifetime value. Is the extra 3 or 5 minutes of continuing that conversation worth it to potentially earn the business of that person? So think of it that way, because if you do commit to this, there's times where it feels overwhelming, but then you have to take a deep breath and do one at a time, because you're starting a lot of conversations. Stay in the moment of the conversation so you can maximize it. Because each person, like when we first started the GSD, it was like everybody that says yes, 8,500. And now we have multiple levels. Somebody that says yes could be 50,000, 24,000, etc. So it's worth the time and effort. Right? And it just takes time, right? We have the time. We just have to do the priority. All the things that we catch are like, it's not a matter of being focused. It's a matter of eliminating all distraction. That's really what it comes down to, because you could be focused and distracted at the same time. But if you can eliminate all the shit that bothers you, like your phone could be buzzing, put it on focus mode, right? And then just leave it so only emergency contacts can call through and text through. Right? Your friends will still have their funny 30 memes there at the end of the day too, right? Because if you get caught and trapped with one of your high school buddies on a group thread, there goes 2 hours and you didn't make any money. Who can add the funnier GIF, huh? That's worth it. Right, yeah, so focus is, eliminate distractions will lead to the focus.
Thank you so much for spending the time to watch that amazing training. Like I mentioned previously, my intention is for you not just to watch that training, but if you got something out of it, if you think this information is useful, I want you to continue that journey with us. And you can do that in a couple of ways. One, I want you to smash that subscribe button so that you get notified every single time we put another one of these out, which will be at minimum once to twice per week. The other thing I want you to do is go ahead and click that next video right there beside you so that you can dive in and get shit done. Hope to see you out there.